in the 1930s, out here in the plains, we were inundated with the Dust Bowl. We had no precautionary ways to take care of and control the dust elements with the dry climates and with high winds. I mean, we didn't have a lot of trees to stop winds. We didn't understand ways that we could farm any differently. So it created the Dust Bowl era. Guymon was the home of the Dust Bowl. In essence, the whole entire Oklahoma Panhandle was considered part of the Dust Bowl era early in the 1930s. In 1933, community came together and created Pioneer Days as a way to celebrate the community and then help kind of bring people together, bring people to town. You know, this is kind of like a county fair, but it's not a county fair. It's just a way to celebrate the community. We have a lot of activities that go on, but the primary activity has always been the rodeo. For the longest time, this was a small rodeo, small gathering. We didn't have a lot of great contestants. We just had guys that were local. The nice thing we had here is the Oklahoma Panhandle State University rodeo team. Robert Etbauer came here. Deke Latham came here. Robert's little brothers came out here. And while Billy did not compete at the college, he lived out here for some time. And then Danny also competed at the college for Panhandle State University. It has a great history, but the pro rodeo itself wasn't a big deal. Basically, it was a $500 added rodeo that just draw a few hundred contestants at the most. And Robert was very proud. He's from South Dakota originally, but he's very proud. Still lives 10 miles away from here. And he wanted to see his hometown rodeo be a bigger deal. And so Robert Etbauer, with 2 world champion gold buckles on his belt, would go around and knock on businesses' doors and helped create this legacy that continues. And then as we go through, this was in the early 1990s. If you reflect, Billy won his last gold buckle in the early 2000s. So, this is a long-standing tradition around here. And they started to build something, and it started drawing more and more contestants. Of course, money is a big incentive for these guys. And Robert was a key influence in that. His influence led off to some other people. And Ken Stonecipher, who is the chairman of the rodeo committee this year and was the chairman of the committee 25 years ago when the transition happened, we started to see the greatest contestants, your Dan Mortensons, your Tom Reeves. You see all these great contestants that were coming out here. Trevor Brazil was actually, the early part of his childhood was literally within an hour away in the Texas Panhandle. And so this was a hometown rodeo for him of sorts. And so we were having these great contestants, and this became a televised event as part of the Wrangler Rodeo Tour in the PRCA. And that really shot things up. In 2015, this rodeo was honored to be inducted into the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame. We've had for many years upwards of 700 to 1,000 contestants, and over the last 2 years with the advent of breakaway roping, we've had over 1,100 contestants that come out for 7 days of rodeo competition. So Guymon is unique, not only in the fact that we rope muleys, as one of the few rodeos that does in team roping, but we don't give away a buckle here. We give them something that they can't just put on the shelf unless they really want to. We give away a belt. There are conchos that have the Guymon logo and show that they were the champion tie-down roper, all-around champion, bull rider, whatever of that particular year. Jess Pope has 2 conchos on his belt now. He has a concho for winning it in 2022 and a concho for sharing the win last year. And these are cherished prizes that these guys really enjoy and really look forward to. I've already had several contestants who won last year have been wondering when these belts will be delivered. They all got delivered a month ago, so they were all excited about that. But in 2010, I was honored with the opportunity to give out 3 of the belts to the winners who had made the National Finals Rodeo. Dean Gorsuch won steer wrestling, Tana Popino won barrel racing, and Will Lowe had won the bareback riding. And when I took them their belts, they were so excited. And Will was the most. he literally, at the South Point Hotel and Casino, took his belt off, took his gold buckle off, and strapped it onto his Guymon belt, and that's what he still wears today.
So the trophy belts that we give away at Guymon started actually before I was on the committee. I think they're 30 plus years we can give an away belt. I think Larry Jeffis, the former chairman before I started this tradition. The idea was, number one, we wanted a unique prize for Guymon. But number two, we figured, if you have a world champion buckle, if you have an NFR go-around buckle, average buckle, you're going to wear that. You're not going to wear a Guymon buckle. It's going to go on the trophy. But you will put your gold buckle on a custom Guymon belt. And we're always tickled when we go to the NFR and see how many guys at the back number ceremony have their Guymon belts with their favorite buckle attached. Well, we used to have a match saddle bronc competition. At every performance, whoever won with the high mark score in that perf got to match against one of our local guys. So it would be Robert, Billy, Denny Etbauer, Craig Latham, Brett Franks, Talis Muncie, someone that has connections to the community, either went to Panhandle State or lives around here. And it was a kind of a cash deal. The hometown guys always gave the money back to the committee. And then if the other guy accidentally won, then our hometown guy would badger him into giving the money back to the committee. So it was kind of a fun little feature. Finally, our guys kind of got aged out, so we had to quit doing it. But I do miss those days. I think Jesse Bale might have been one of the last ones to ride on our side, and they had to browbeat him into doing it just to take one for the team. I was Robert Etbauer, who's the coach at Panhandle State, and they do so much for us. We have a great partnership with them, and they send a lot of kids down here and help us all week. And of course, we help them with their rodeo, which is the week before the pro rodeo starts. Cray's riding broncs today as much as he did when he was winning the world championships back in the 90s. And he's just mad that his body hasn't kept up with his desire. Well, the rodeo's been a huge part of my family for the last 26 years. That's how long I've been on the committee. And I have 4 sons who are all grown now. But when I started, I only had 2 sons. So 2 of them were born into the rodeo committee. And my son Austin, my second, is on the committee now. He started riding sheep here in the Mutton Bust, and now his job is to put the kids on the sheep, including his own 4-year-old son, who will ride this weekend. So it's been a really neat legacy for us, and really, we spent a lot of time on the rodeo working and volunteering and doing stuff, but the rewards that we get back in terms of the friendships we made and the relationships we have and the good that we see that it does for the community has been well worth it. So one of the most memorable moments here at Guymon for me was receiving the phone call to let us know that we were being inducted into the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame about a week before the rodeo started that year in 2015. Very exciting to be able to share that with our fans and our sponsors and just everybody, the whole history of this rodeo that made it Hall of Fame worthy. And to be able to celebrate that during our rodeo that year was probably the most special that I can remember in the last 30 years or so.